not broken for feeling tired of a life that looks successful on the outside but feels hollow on the inside. That quiet ache you carry when the noise finally stops and you're alone with your thoughts, that isn't weakness. That's awareness knocking. Most people spend their lives trying to outrun that moment. You're starting to listen, and that changes everything. Here's the first truth the universe whispers to you when you begin to wake up. The world didn't teach you how to live, it taught you how to perform. You were shown how to meet expectations, not how to meet yourself. From a young age, you learned to collect approval like currency, to trade your peace for applause. And slowly, without noticing, you forgot where your own voice lived. This is not a failure. This is conditioning. Think about how many people climb ladders that were never leaning against their own dreams. How many wake up at 40 or 50 with a respectable life and a silent grief they can't explain. History is full of this quiet awakening. Even great minds walked this path. There were leaders who conquered nations and still felt empty in their private chambers. There were artists who were celebrated by millions and still battled unbearable loneliness. Success never guaranteed meaning. It only amplified whatever was already unresolved inside. Real life teaches this too. The parent who gave everything to work and realized too late that their child grew up without them. The student who chased the perfect career and felt their spark die one promotion at a time. The influencer with millions of followers who feels unseen in their own room. The details change, the lesson doesn't. This is the illusion that a loud life is a full life. And this is where it cracks, because one day, usually in silence, the question arrives uninvited. Is this all? That question is sacred. It is the doorway. You don't awaken all at once. You awaken in fragments, in small refusals, in moments where your soul quietly says, not this, not anymore. You begin to notice how exhausted you are from pretending to be fine, from smiling when something inside you is aching, from saying yes when your entire body is screaming no. And here is the gentle reframe the universe offers. What you call a breakdown is often a breakthrough in disguise. The anxiety, the restlessness, the sense of disconnection, these are not punishments. They are signals. They are your inner life asking for oxygen. There was a time when stepping away from the crowd meant danger. Survival depended on belonging. Today, it's the opposite. Often, survival depends on stepping back from the noise, on not becoming what everyone expects, on being willing to disappoint the world to remain loyal to yourself. This is not isolation. This is integration. You start to realize that peace doesn't come from fixing everything. It comes from releasing what was never yours to carry. You were never meant to hold the weight of every expectation, every comparison, every imaginary deadline. You were meant to live with breath in your chest and truth in your mouth. And slowly, very slowly, your life begins to untighten. But just as you begin to loosen your grip on the old life, another fear arises, the fear of being alone. Not physically alone, but emotionally unaccompanied on this new path. Because awakening is often quiet, it rarely arrives with celebration. Most of the time, it arrives when fewer people understand you, when your conversations feel thinner, when the things that once excited you no longer hold you. This loneliness is not a punishment. It is a passage. In every era, the ones who saw differently first were misunderstood first. There were scientists ridiculed for saying the earth moves. There were thinkers imprisoned for speaking truths their time wasn't ready for. There were ordinary people who quietly chose integrity over acceptance and paid for it with their status, but gained something far rarer, inner freedom. You are walking a very old road. It only feels new because you've never been on it before. And here is the unseen gift inside this solitude. You begin to hear yourself again, beneath the noise, beneath the labels, beneath the scripts you memorized to survive. Your intuition grows louder when the crowd grows quieter. Your values sharpen when the applause fades. You stop asking, "How do I look?" and start asking, "How do I live?" This is the shift from performance to presence. This is the shift from surviving to sensing. You may notice your boundaries changing. You no longer explain yourself endlessly. You no longer tolerate what drains you just to avoid conflict. You choose depth over attendance, truth over convenience, rest over proving, and people may call you distant, changed, cold. But what has really happened is this: you have stopped abandoning yourself. The universe is not asking you to disappear from the world. It is asking you to return to it differently, with less noise in your nervous system, with more honesty in your decisions, with fewer roles and more reality. And just when you begin to settle into this quieter strength, another illusion reveals itself: the belief that understanding everything is the same as healing it. It isn't. And this is where it gets interesting. There comes a moment in every awakening where insight is no longer enough. You can read all the wisdom, you can understand every pattern, you can name every wound, and still feel stuck, because knowing is not the same as choosing. Clarity is not the same as courage. The mind can wake up long before the life does. This is the tension point, where many turn back. You may recognize this in yourself. You see the dynamics now. You notice the cycles. You understand why you overgive, why you settle, why you stay silent, why you self-sabotage. And yet, you still feel pulled by the same gravity. This is not hypocrisy. This is human. The nervous system doesn't transform at the speed of insight. It transforms at the speed of safety. Real change begins not with dramatic declarations, but with small, trembling decisions. The first honest conversation you've been avoiding, the boundary you shakily set and then feel guilty for, the day you choose rest over productivity and feel like you're breaking some invisible law, the moment you say, "I don't know," instead of performing certainty. These are quiet revolutions, and they matter more than you think. History rarely honors these small inner rebellions, but they are the birthplace of every outer transformation. No empire collapses without first collapsing in belief. No new world is built without someone first daring to live differently in a quiet room. And this truth applies just as fiercely to your own life. Here is another sentence the universe wants you to hear, slowly. You do not heal by becoming someone new. You heal by unlearning who you were forced to be. The goal was never to upgrade your personality. The goal was to come home to it, to the self that existed before fear taught you to shrink, before survival taught you to perform, before disappointment taught you to armor your heart. This is not weakness returning. This is truth resurfacing.